multiple times over the years. 5, 6, 7 times. And it was African countries. So they are visions of that.
Right. That's what Africa said. But Paul, you can answer my question with ignoring. Understand?
We want to slow yes. Yeah, Shalom Israel, right? We this I.S.U.P.K. Trinidad Tobago. In I.S.U.P.K. started out of 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General Yohanna, right?
Bluetooth disconnected.
Christian of Sasua, right? Here in Trinidad Tobago again, as we continue to bring these reminders to our brothers and sisters, we continue to remind them that, the nation is facing, the same situation. And I mean, the nation is facing the same situation wherever blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians reside. They face the same conditions, whether in North, South, or Central America, right? This is why it's so important, as men of the Lord, in holding down this office, to perform the duties that is right in the sight of the Lord. And this is why, again, all that has been taught on this platform, wherever the I.S.U.P.K. schools are, it would be reminders unto our people. Just as we have been reminded, we do the same as well. And this is why it's so important for us today that all people, we keep on reiterating and say, hey, you have to come to class, whether call the school, go up on the web page, call the numbers, contact the school here in Point Fortin. Again, the location is Morris Street. There's a number again on the I.S.U.P.K. Trinidad Tobago web page. Go up on the page, contact the number. And there's a WhatsApp number, and there's also, a local number as well. And you can get both of them both ways. Again, reach out to the I.S.U.P.K. here in Trinidad Tobago, and wherever you are, whether again in North, South, and Central America, there's an I.S.U.P.K. school, because Commandant General Yohanna again has been, putting in that work since 1969 to make sure that, what he has committed himself to, just as again all records make mention that this truth is going to be, handed to men that will commit themselves and will change it, and he had not changed, the doctrine since, coming into the truth and being reminded, that this nation need the leaders, or need righteous black men to take hold of the, as we say, the black home. Because again, without the black man in the home, you see the end results right now. Again, we can pull multiple stories, again, that taking place right here in Trinidad and Tobago, where the black family face, that same turmoil or that same condition, where they do have that black father in the home, and the end result is, the woman and then again the children pay the price. And again, this is why it's so important to us today as our people. And we need to be reminded of this daily. And this is why without, righteous black men leading, this is the end results for the condition that we face on a daily basis. And this is why, again, it's so important for us as a people and as a nation to always remind one another. So again, blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, we ask again, as being a brother, as being family, as being a nation, that, come to class, join on the live, ask your questions, bring your questions before the men of the Lord. And, all the questions would be answered righteously and inside these records. And again, the Bible is our recorded history, and this is why, again, us knowing our history is so important, even today. Because again, all nations, all the other nations, have their history, and will continue to teach their children to walk after their pathways, teach them their customs, their cultures. And being a people and being a nation, we are faulted by not doing that. And this is why, again, in the I.S.U.P.K, you will find the black home is being built again under righteousness, under our King, Yahushua, and the man who choose, to continue on until his return. Because again, this is why our records say God is not the God that many, but the God that one. And the Most High God will always choose a man, from amongst our people, to bring or to remind our brothers as ourselves. And this is why, again, it's so important. The article with the sister, which trying to make deadline that people about Gabusha. Remember, you hear about that one? Huh? Let's see. Yeah? Okay, right? Right? So again, this is why, these reminders, will be brought out. And again, this is why we always, say that the Christian church or, religion on our whole, have failed, black people. And because of their taking the customs and the ways and wanting to be, as we say, equal with the oppressor, they would, do anything or do anything necessary just to be, in that, to be that equal counterpart, to be friends with the oppressor. And this is why, again, your pastors have failed you in Trinidad and Tobago, because now there are many accounts, that we can read, or many things that we go into, and in these accounts it would show, where these people have failed. And you even have a next one where it shows where, I think, let's just read it, that 14-year-old, with a, as you say, a newborn, ran away, and they found her again in Tobago. And this is again, there are many things that we can go into, and we just read one of this article, and this is why, again, when you look at all people today, you would see that they would find themselves in these, religious houses or these churches, and seeking to find some sort of, aid or assistance in, help with any current situation that they face on a daily basis. And this is why it's so important for us as a people, to bring these reminders onto us. You get it? You think I'm true? Yeah? You know what? And the next one. It connected. Makaya, yeah, internet? No, just one of the article, the sister and two children couldn't find it tank in Tobago. No?
Alright.
Yeah. Because again, the point where we want to draw again is that these, our sisters, as you say, or brothers and sisters, they check on the acting dance, you see the thing.
You want to read it all?
Yeah, that's
Well, when you're ready, so that.
yeah, that's. Oh, I will do that. I will do that on my way to check this. Yeah, you can go ahead and read back.
Mom gets found dead in empty water tank, right, from the Daily Express. The Santa Cruz woman moved to Palatavia, Tobago about a year ago, and the two young children were found dead inside an empty water tank yesterday afternoon. Sarah Smith, 34, who lived at Main Road, Palatavia, was found dead along with her 18-month-old infant, Phoenix, and 3-year-old GEN.YAHANNA in the decomposed water tank in Palatavia at 5:40 p.m. Police have not yet determined how the mother and child died. Police reports said the woman and her children were initially reported missing 2 days ago. They were found lying motionless in the water tank near Parabol. A water official said there was an opening at the bottom of the tank.
So again, just a little backdrop on this, and the reason why we reading these articles, because again, and we made mention that the pastor failed you, Trinidad and Tobago, because now again this is something that took place in Tobago. And, you know, for people that don't know, Trinidad and Tobago is, you know, is one island, as meaning that we are a republic that, you know, hold the same laws, carry out the same rules, you know, the same application applies, you know, in both islands. But again, certain situations or similarity, it varies, depends on the, as you say, the leader, or whoever is over, you know, the island. Because again, for over a period of time, you know, we've been hearing that, you know, Tobago wants to do its own, or be its own independent island. Likewise, you know, Trinidad would say, hey, you know, we two, both of us is twin islands, as we say. And this is why, again, it's so important that the reminder be brought out. And again, why it is now we draw in reference, and we, you know, we going into this, because why? The pastors of the day, and this is why we keep reminding brothers and sisters to remove yourself from the Christian church, remove yourself from the Muslim mosque, remove yourselves from, you know, any philosophy or doctrine that men have taught, because why? Have come up with their own interpretation, because they themselves, you know, seek answers, and they seeking answers will come up with their own ideology, their own ways. Again, what they think or perceive to be is right. And again, when we look through the records, we see that these men who we speak about, and even up until our King Yahweh came on the scene, these men were moved by the Spirit of the Lord and following the instructions of righteous black men. And this is why, again, your religious leaders had failed, or the pastors had failed you, Trinidad and Tobago. Because why? In situations like this, there would always be, you know, that righteous counsel. And again, just as been brought up from the beginning of the class, where is the black man in the black hole? Where is him? Again, because of religion and because of, you know, teaching the black woman that she could be independent and not dependent on having that head or that head over her, is the reason for the let me say, what is is the reason for what is taking place today. Because again, it's so many things, you know, that you would want to describe it as, but it is what it is for, you know, what it is for. That best I can say, because again, what is taking place in this situation is that we see, you know, a reoccurrence of the black home continuing to fall in Trinidad and Tobago. And because of, you know, the black man being removed, this is why it's so important. And this is why, again, your pastors, your religious leaders is to be blamed, because now, not training that child or not teaching that child their history or teaching that child, you know, who they are, is the end result of what, you know, product would be at the end of the day. And that product, again, we would see it, again, taking root and, you know, coming up in this society and not wanting to let go of the customs and the ways of the society. And this is why, again, it's so important. And why it is so important? Because, again, our King, Yahweh or Jesus Christ, you know, what the world doing us today, you know, he had been through similar situations, and, you know, understanding his purpose, his role, and his function was always to keep the black home in that order. Because again, many questions or many times we see our brothers and sisters who sit again on tables or sit in this religious organization will come up against the men of the Lord. And the men of the Lord being in that right spirit and walking not after their own ways or their own philosophy, but walking after the ways that have been passed down and not turning to the left nor the right. You will see the reply and the answer towards these questions. And being that is why today in the I.S.U.P.K under command in GEN.YAHANNA, righteous black men is being raised up. The family, the black family or the black home is being built back or brought back to some sort of stability. In the meantime, until the return again of our King, Yahushua, which we see soon. Because now as we see as the earth or the world gear for war, now we see in the midst of that, black people being raised back, or being brought back in that right spirit, and coming and seeking truth and seeking righteousness to know, hey, show me or I'd like to understand why this keep reoccurring, and questions are being asked and answers are being given righteously in the I.S.U.P.K. again under command in GEN.YAHANNA, right? And this is why again it's so important for us today as a people and as a nation to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, to come back to our heritage, to come back to our culture, right? And to bring these reminders onto us today, right? So we'll give the book of Matthew chapter 22, and we will start at verse 1 to verse 2. Right? And these are reminders unto us. These are reminders for us today that again our King Yahushua went through these similar situations where your pastor today, or your imam today, or your religious leaders today, or black men who join all oppressors' ways would come up against us, come up against the truth, and come up against to sway or to try to be persuasive in the sense that they would ask a question, and they knowing these records, as the scriptures call them, doctors and lawyers of the law, knowing these records, would always try to use these records one-sidedly. But again, our King was brought up in righteousness, and that spirit that he had on him was the spirit of the Most High God. And this is why again, to understand what is the Holy Spirit, again, this is the vibe of the Most High, that you would walk in the same mindset. That's why he said David was a man after your own heart. Because why? He know the instructions that supposed to be followed, and if not followed, the consequences of not following these instructions. Right? So when again you read back
the book of Matthew chapter 22 and verse 1. And Yahushua answered and spake unto them again by parables, and said, The kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son. Verse 3. And sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come.
Right, and why we going into this? Because it's so important. Because again, since 1969, this truth has been been out, and the men before us were always out on the street and playing to brothers and letting brothers know, hey, we have instructions. These records is our instructions. The Bible is our record of history. And when you look at what we join the ways or the things that all oppressors would use to help in the oppression of our brothers and sisters. And this is why it's so important that every religion or every way that our people join, you will see that they will always come up against these records. And this is why it's so important to come up against these sayings. Because why? They themselves was not learned. And reading these records as, let me say, what we call like a fairy tale or some kind of storybook, they will not have that spirit upon them, or not have the Holy Spirit upon them, meaning they would not have the Bible in Lord, or they will not understand what it means to love your brother, what it means, to have care for a family, or what it means to be separated from these other nations. And this is why, again, as it says, and he sent forth his son, his servants, to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come. Continue, Bible.
Verse 4. Again, he sent forth other servants, saying, tell them which are bidden, behold, I have prepared my dinner, my oxen and my fatlings are killed, and all these things are ready. Come unto the marriage.
Right, so now he sent forth some again, and he sent a next set again to bring that reminder. And in that reminder, there is no agency preparation. You already have that table prepared. You already have, as you say, the oxen, you already have these meats prepared. Because why? It is something that a family would do in coming together, in being, one. And this is why it's labeled as a marriage. Because when you look at any marriage ceremony, which we see taking place now, what you would see coming together, you'd see family coming together. You would see invitation going out, say, and then hey, this is the time and the wedding, this is the date. And when this invitation goes out, now it's like, hey, this is where it is. At this time now, it's like a reminder to come to this marriage. Go ahead, Ma'am Bishop.
Verse 5. But they made light of it and went their ways, one to his farm, another to his merchandise.
And why? Because now, being, as you say, being a Christian, or being a Muslim, or being, any, or I follow in my own religion, what would happen? Now, this is more important than that. Because now, it's like you now don't have a care for being together with your family. So now you would look at, your own demise or your own ways, and this is more important than being together with family. Go ahead, Ma'am Bishop.
Verse 6. And the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully and slew them.
Right. So what they did, because they brought this reminder, it's like, hey, you're annoying me now. And with that annoying, what they do with them? They treat them, as they say, all manner evil. Just to wrap it up in a nutshell. And what they do? They kill them after. Go ahead.
Verse 7. But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth, and he set forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burned up the city.
And what you do, Ma'am Bishop?
But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth, and sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burned up the city. Yes.
Why he was wroth? Because now, being, as I say, being king and being, a person that rule over, look over a city or look over a nation, the expectation of, the people to take heed, the expectation is very high. And seeing that expectation wasn't very high, that the people didn't take heed, then changes need to be made. And again, these are the consequences of not taking heed to the instructions sent out by the king. Right? Go ahead, Dr. Bishop.
Verse 8. Then said he to his servants, The wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy.
Right? And why? Why they were not worthy? Why? Because of their actions, or because what they had perceived in their mind. Because now it show you what they went off and did. And this is why they wasn't worthy, because it's like this didn't mean anything to them. This was more rooted than, you know, going and being with family. Right? Go ahead.
Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find bid to the marriage.
Right? Go ahead.
So those servants went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good, and the wedding was furnished with guests.
Right. And this is why now, again, when you look at this same pattern or this same, you know, what we just read here, you would see the I.S.U.P.K and the Commander GEN.YAHANNA doing this. Because why? When you look around at, again, in these, you know, rural, I would say, or gated communities, you will see what the same actions or the same ways where black people who live in these areas with made that application or applied these same things in, you know, doing or patronizing in what it means to not to be around black people. And they will find all excuse, all manner of anything that they could come up with just not to be around, you know, family. They would say the most heinous or the most, you name it, and try to put to shame the own flesh and the own blood. Because why? They themselves were, their spirit have not yielded or have not accepted, you know, being worthy of partaking in this wedding. Because now again it show you who came to this wedding. Right? Go ahead, Abusha.
Verse 11. And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there was a man which had not on a wedding garment.
Right. Go ahead.
And he said unto him, Friend, how comest thou in hither, not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless.
Right. Go ahead.
Then said the king unto the servants, Bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Right. Go ahead.
For many are called, but few are chosen.
Because why? Now, in being, you know, or partaking at this ceremony, or partaking in this wedding, now you must be dressed. And then you not being dressed or clothing, or, you know, what the requirements are, now this is the end result. Because why? This is why now, again, in our records, we must be clothed in our right minds. And the only how this can happen is by us coming back to these lower statutes and commandments. It's by us as a people and as a nation taking heed to these instructions. Because why? It is important for us as a people and a nation, or the children of Israel today, to, you know, demonstrate what it means to be part of a family. And again, the perfect example you would see today is in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General GEN.YAHANNA. Right? Go ahead, yeah, continue on.
Verse 15.
Because now, as you said, we're just going through verse 22 now, because now it's showing you the ways and the qualities, and this is why, you know, again, the topic is that, you know, you're concerning your pastor. Where your pastor failed. And this is why, you know, it shows you the failure of your pastor, because he has a duty to perform. And he not performing those duty, this is the end result of it. And the end result of it is he being do what? Being bound. And doing what? And being cast into the outer darkness. Because why? You have not taken heed to the instructions, and you were supposed to be that gatekeeper, and this is why it's so important. Give me Jeremiah 14 and 2. And this is a reminder. We come back to the Bible. And this is why it is a reminder for that. Because again, our people and our nation have not take heed to these instructions. And by not taking heed to these instructions is why we continue to end up in this situation. Right?
Jeremiah chapter 14 and verse 2. Judah mourned.
Right? And why we go here? Because now the same people is in mourning. The Jews mourn. Go ahead.
And the gates thereof languish.
And the what?
And the gates thereof languish.
The gates thereof languish. Because why? These gates and them were supposed to protect this people. Was supposed to be a hedge for this people. And because of your religious leaders and because of your pastor failing Trinidad and Tobago, this is what happened. Go ahead.
They are black unto the ground.
They are what?
They are black unto the ground.
Now you notice how to teach? You notice how to teach what that? When they say that, when they start to teach, when they hear this, color don't matter. But the scriptures now identify something that color does matter. For a reason, for a purpose, because of what they've been brought up, what they have been taught. Right? Go ahead.
And the cries of Jerusalem is borne up.
And the what?
And the cries of Jerusalem is borne up.
And the what?
And the cries of Jerusalem is borne up.
And the nation cry or praise is going up before the Lord. Go ahead. That's it?
Okay.
Right? Jump back to Matthew 22. So that's black. Let's see if it and that's back it up. Right? And this is why now it's so important, because again, the pastors that failed you, failed you. The pastor that failed you, Trinidad and Tobago, failed you, right? Again, blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, and these are just by names that were given by our oppressors, names that your religious, again, these religious leaders have continued to walk after, right? Go ahead again, Matthew 22, and we will start at verse 15. Because now we just went into something and he exposed them. Now we see they would be in there, and we see the same thing today when we have any discussion or any debate with these religious leaders. You'll see that they're going to, as you say, to effeminate mode one time. Right? Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 22 and verse 15. Then, when the Pharisees and took counsel how they might entangle him in his talk.
Right? So now imagine this. Imagine this. This is your brother. Your brother just, brought something forth. He didn't even ask a question. He even asked, what it means. But now, based on, what he brought out now, it's like, it do something to his spirit, because now it higher now 198. This man talking about me, but because now you doing this, as you say, the same exact thing, the same exact ways. He's speaking about you fallen in that situation. Because now, if you wasn't falling in that situation, would it be with it, as you say, check your mind? No. But because you fall in that same situation, that this is what the word is. I say the word is like a two-edged sword. Piercing through and through, and just quoting. The word is like a double-edged sword. You get after. And this is where the cut here. When you push, it cut. When you pull, it cuts. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 16. And they sent out unto him their disciples with herons.
Just right. And this is a part that you must pay close attention to. Because now what they do now, they send, as I said, they send their own people, and then who they send with them?
The Herodian.
They send heathen. What we see happening again today in religion? Everybody get joy. And see the heathen, and they see, as you say, black people sitting together, and they say in one denomination, one congregation. And what they're speaking about is the same thing we see practicing today in religion. Now we see them Eastern and them saying them up and Father, and them praising Jesus more than anything else. But again, that Jesus that they would see in their mind, we gotta get back Caesar. Get back Caesar. Like they didn't bring Caesar. This is what they just be seen in their mind when they sit on these, as you say, in their, again, in their church building, in their denomination. When they speak about Jesus, it's only white man Jesus is seen. Or as you say, or Cesar Borgia. This is the image that they will be seen in their mind. So now, how they will talk? They'll talk God is almighty, all this, all that. And when you listen to them, it's like, you hear your oppressor talking. You hear, and you see the voice of the white man and the voice of our oppressor speaking through these in Iran. Or you see all these other nations. Because why? This is something that they talk and learn. Right? So now go ahead.
Saying, Master, we know that thou art truth, and teacheth the way of the Most High in truth.
Right? So now you hear them. So now they now asking the question, but who is the witness? That the heathen them as witness. Right? Go ahead.
Neither careth thou for any man.
Why does say neither carest thou for any man? Go ahead.
But thou regardest not the persons of men.
Right? For thou regardest not the persons of men. Go ahead.
Verse 17.
Now, what we mean by persons of men? Men personality. We think. Because now remember, now we say before, we say for thou teachest the way of God in truth, neither carest thou for any man. Now again, this is why it's so important, and this is why again understanding the history and knowing these records is so important. Go ahead.
Verse 17. Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not?
So you see the question? Now, again, listen to the answer of, as you say, of a righteous black man, of King Yahushua, in reply to this question. Go ahead.
Verse 18. But Yahushua perceived their wickedness and said, Why tempt you me, you hypocrites?
Why do what?
Why tempt you me, you hypocrites?
We call them
hypocrites.
Why you calling them hypocrites? It must have a reason why you calling them hypocrites. Because now we're trying to do, you're trying to show them up in front of the heathen now. Eh? You're trying to show them up in front of the heathen. All right, go ahead.
Verse 19. Show me the tribute money. And they brought unto him in pennies.
So now, being wise and being in the spirit and the Most High, now he asks, bring forth that, as you say, the penny or the money and the day. Go ahead.
Verse 20. And he said unto them, who is this image and superscription?
And subscription. Right, go ahead.
Verse 21.
Right, so now he asks them the question, who is this image and subscription? Meaning, who face is inscribed on this money? Go ahead.
Verse 21. They say unto him, Caesar.
Who they say unto him?
They say unto him, Caesar.
Go ahead.
Then saith he unto them, render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's.
The what?
The things which are Caesar's.
Who inscription is on the money?
Caesar's.
So we tell them to do?
Render therefore unto Caesar things which are Caesar's.
The things which are Caesar's, give to Caesar. Go ahead.
And unto the Most High the things that are the Most High.
And unto the Lord, unto God, the things which are God. Go ahead.
Verse 22. When they had heard these words, they marveled and left him and went their way.
What happened to them?
They were marveled and left him and went their way.
Because why? Because the answer that he gave was what? Was the truth. The truth don't change. Just that's why I say the take the word of God and change what is that lie. This is why it's so important and as scripture says to study. Because now these is who we're going to meet every day that cover anyway. If you're black, Latino, or Native Indian, and if you're again a priest and a prophet, or a priest in the I.S.U.P.K under Commander General YAHANNA, these is our encounters. Because why? Our king said this. He said, know this. They first hated me. They come up against me. So now, don't feel it's nothing new. This is why again, when they look, and we always say, you know, to our brothers and sisters, the men in here are trained in times like these. Because why? Because of what we have been taught and watching the pathway, or watching, you know, or being taught by righteous black men. Not men that would swear, not men that would, you know, bring heathen like the purple faggots. Like these, as you see, like these purple and them. Even here in Trinidad, again, as they say, they're all over. They're all over and continue to sway, you know, brothers and sisters' mind. And still today, where's your favorite things that where's your favorite line that always like to harass women with? Eh? The what scripture? The fan scripture. They always like to use that fan scripture on all women here in Trinidad. And again, because of not understanding and not being taught, this is why again they themselves, you know, would be cast, as we read earlier on in the passage, into that darkness. And that cast into that darkness is being a year going on. It have a place there. Scriptures say that. It have a place there. And that place is not in that seat looking over people. Or looking over, you know, the children and the nation of Israel. That seat will be a low seat, which is identified as the lowest in the kingdom. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 22. When they had heard these words, verse 23, the same day came to him the Sadducees, which say that there is no resurrection, no reincarnation, and asked him.
Right? So now that the same day, as you say, the Sadducees came, right? Go ahead.
Verse 24, saying, Master, Moses said, if a man die having no children, his brother shall marry his wife, and raise up seed unto his brother. Verse 25, now there were with us 7 brethren.
And just to jump ahead, this is something that, again, you can go back into the book of Tobit in the Apocrypha, in the end, and read this. This is the Bible as well. This is what, again, your Roman Catholic Church removed. As I say, the priests or these Roman Catholics removed from this. And this is why we say this is part of the Bible. This is the entirety of the Bible. And again, if we go back and you're getting King James 16:11 with the Apocrypha, this would be as well in it. So now when people hear this now, this or see this or say, but this is not the Bible. This is the Bible because why? It have as you say the records that was removed from this for a purpose. Because now this in this book, now it identifies one thing, and that one thing again is something so important in the time of our King coming in, where it will make mention in the scriptures, whether it be Jew, whether it be Greek, and when they go back into the Maccabees, you would see that the customs that was forced upon the nation was taking place right in the book of 1st and 2nd Maccabees. And that was just before King came on the scene. Right? Go ahead.
Saying, Master, Moses said, if a man die having no children, his brother shall marry his wife and raise up seed unto his brother. Verse 25, now there were with us 7 brethren, and the first, when he had married a wife, deceased, and having no issue, left his wife unto his brother.
Right, so now we know when you can go back again and you can find in the law where this is lawful, where it says that if a man married a woman, and again sex marriage, and no seed or as you say or you haven't the woman haven't conceived and he died, then the next person in line to that woman now would be his brother, which would bring forth seed in his name, and again it is recorded lawful. Go ahead.
Likewise the second also, and the third unto the 7th.
Until so it's 7 of them. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 24, verse 27, and last of all the woman died also.
So now all the virgin went in, nothing didn't take place. She and all passed away. Go ahead.
Verse 28, therefore, in the reincarnation, whose wife shall she be of the 7th? For they all had her.
Go ahead.
Verse 29.
And this is where it's so very important. Go ahead.
Yahweh answered and said unto them, you do error.
You do what?
You do error.
Go ahead.
Not knowing the scriptures.
Not doing what?
Not knowing the scriptures.
Not doing what?
Not knowing the scriptures.
Go ahead.
Nor the power of the Most High.
Because why? Because now what takes place there as I say, in they using the record of the brother with the with the seven brothers, or the 7 men that went in and all died. What went on there? It shows that why he say they do error, because just like a pastor does do. They do ever finish read the scripture. They do ever finish read the chapter. They always do read a verse from the chapter and do what? What does do with it? They give a whole sermon, a whole life story about themselves, about what they think and what they feel. This is why it's so important. Again, and this is the example again of King Yahushua, make it mention and say they do what? Read over that verse of Yahushua. Verse 29.
Verse 29, Yahushua answered and said unto them, You do error, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of the Most High.
Right, go ahead.
Verse 30, For in reincarnation they neither marry nor given in marriage, but are the angels of the Most High in heaven.
Because why? The perfect, and again, this is why it's so important, in understanding and knowing history, and knowing the culture, and knowing who we are. Because why? Not knowing and not understanding these records. Now, what you will do to brothers and sisters? You will endanger their lives. You will have them in disarray, right? You have them in that same mindset. And again, this is why it's so important, because again, when the question that I asked, because now again, one of them didn't believe in that in the resurrection, in the reincarnation. Because as a baby, you're bound to anything. Eh? As a baby, when you come back, as a new baby, you bound to anything. You have any contract, you bound to anything. This is why he's saying that, because as in that time, that one you bound to none of them, so nobody bound to one another. You have no contract there. Go ahead.
Thus touching the reincarnation of death, have you not read that which was spoken unto you by the Most High, saying, Verse 32, I am the power of Abraham, and the God of Isaac and Jacob.
Right.
God is not the God of the dead, but of the living.
You know what he's saying there? Eh? You know what he's saying there?
Come.
Go ahead.
Like I said, there's no definitely that's a physical that you have with the Most High, but spiritually you don't die.
So that means to say what?
You keep on
These men are what?
living
When?
right now.
That's right. So now in a way, these instructions, what we speaking? We speaking about who? We speaking about the God of who?
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
If there was then, could we speak about them? We never speak about them. This is why again, see the prophets are all alive now as the day. These instructions will always be in the earth. Because why? These instructions are of the Most High God of power. And this is why again, our King Yahushua was a perfect example in demonstrating what it means to be part of our family and what it means our family to stay together. And you being the example of not wanting to be part of our family, this would be the end result of you not wanting to be part of this family. And this is why again it's so important for us today. Right? Go ahead, Michelle.
Verse 33, and when the multitude heard this, they were astonished at his doctrine.
Right? Again, that astonishment is like, hey, remember this. It's like coming into the truth now. And now a righteous black man explaining what we explain to us. He explained to us our history, he explained to us these records. And say go back in and say in the Maccabees, when you go back in the book of Tobit, when you go back in Judith, Bellany Dragon, you go back and you read this thing and you listen. The instructions of a righteous black man teaching and say, hey, this is certain things that our people face during our times, our forefathers. And don't think it new, because now you taking up this role and this function, being called by the Most High God to do what? To continue on in this pathway, on this walk, and remind our brothers, as we say, as I said, because we read it just now, it's the same thing that will happen. The heathen will come up against you, your own brother will come up against you, and this is what we're reading about here, about Krishna. Go ahead.
Verse 34. But when the Pharisees had heard that he had put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together.
So now remember now, both of them have this discrepancy, both of them have disagreement in certain things. Now how come they come together? How come they know to come together? To do what? Because why? Again, this shows that as a people and as a nation, we just only come together for certain things that, let me say that will bring down brother, bring down. But one thing coming to that which is right, like we read in the beginning passage, when time, as you say, the call for we to come, we ain't coming. But anytime it's to do shit or nonsense, or to do evil towards your brother, we will do. We see happening in Silas and John. We see happening the article we read and consider with the sister. When certain things come to as you say, to the unalive, towards the brothers and sisters, we can come together after that. But when time to come now to bring and to set blacks, Latinos, and Native Indian minds in the right place, you have time for that. This is why again, your pastors have failed you, Trinidad Tobago. Failed you. Right?
Verse 35. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him, and said, verse 36, Master, which is the great commandment in the law?
So you use our law. You study law. You know the laws of God. So you want to know which one is the greatest commandments of the law. Go ahead.
Verse 37. Yahweh said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. Verse 58. This is the first and great commandment.
So you answer your question. You can answer what is the great commandment. What Christ said, this is the what? The first and great commandment. So you answer your question. Gain him more. Go ahead.
Verse 59. And the second is like unto it.
So now we're giving him some more. Because now this is what our brother is doing. Go ahead.
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Because why? What the both of them was doing? They come together to do what? To conspire. Against who? Against your own brother. This is why you're telling them that. Because you're accustomed doing that. Plotted to kill your brother. Plotted to unalive your sister. Well,
Verse 14. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets.
So why you say that? Because they did the same thing the prophets are always speaking about. Concerning brothers, concerning sisters, concerning our family. Go ahead.
Verse 41. While the Pharisees were gathered together, Yahweh asked them, saying, verse 44, saying, What think you of Christ? Whose son is he?
Right? So why, as I say, right? Why the Pharisees were gathered together, Yahushua. So now our king asking them this question. Go ahead.
What think you of Christ? Whose son is he?
So who is the Mashiach? Or the say, who is this again? Who is the Savior? Whose son is he? Go ahead.
They say unto him, the son of David.
The son of who?
The son of David.
Right, go ahead.
Verse 43. He said unto them, how then doeth David in spirit call him Lord, saying,
So now you remember now, one they believe in the incarnation, one believes so now he listen. Go ahead.
verse 44. The Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou on my right hand, till I make thy enemies thy footstool.
Right. So telling them and letting them know David reincarnated as well. Go ahead.
Verse 45. If David then called him Lord, how is he his son?
Right, go ahead.
Verse 46. And no man was able to answer him.
And know what?
And no man was able to answer him
Go ahead.
a word, neither durst any man from that day forth.
Neither did any man from that day forth. Go ahead.
And asked him any more questions.
Because why? Now he did something to them. And just like the truth does all the time, they always check you. They always check you. And this is why the scripture says the error or the error in knowing the truth. Right? It's back here. This one. This one. And this is Slack, and this is why it's so important, again, with this reminder. Because why? Blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians need to be reminded. We need to be reminded, right? Amen. Who is John? Who is John? Who is John 3? Who is John 3 and 4? Right. Who's John 3 and that's all. Start at this conversation. And again, this is why we say only place that they can find true love and understand what love is and understand what it means to love your brother yourself is in the I.S.U.P.K and the command. This is why again the pastors failed Trinidad Tobago. And I keep on reiterating that because in Trinidad Tobago, our people, the blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians have joined ourselves to religion. And again, we see our next custom on the horizon. And what we'll see now, we'll see again black people, Hispanic people, or Latinos, Native Indian joining the custom, and it's Elam. And try and partake in their customs and their culture. And this is why, again, these are reminders to us today. Right? Go ahead.
1 John chapter 3 and verse 1. Behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of the Most High. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not.
Right. So what manner of love that is, man? Eh? What manner of love that is? That as you say, that the Lord bestow upon us. That love had to be real, genuine. You know, like I say, real, genuine love. That manner of love had to be real, genuine. And that we should be called what? The sons of God. Therefore, the world know not us, because it knew him not. The same thing you see the society patrioting. When we talk this, again, this is not, as you say, the doctrine or the teachings of men. This is why men wouldn't understand it. Because now we're speaking as who? As the sons of God. We're speaking in that spirit. We're speaking in, as you say, in that vibe of the Lord. This is what it means to be what? Or having that Holy Spirit upon you. Having the vibe of the Lord. Because why? We speak things, and what would happen? Now, as we say, carnal men will understand, we will comprehend. Go ahead.
Yes, like that.
Go ahead.
Even as the scripture say, when I know, when I know love for black people, because I don't even know Christ himself is a black man. So when the world, when I watch every other nation, and even with we people, they think that Christ is a white man.
You see? And that's why again, just as we say, that this taking place with us not, knowing the truth, and us being, persuaded by the doctrines and the philosophies of the society, this will have us in this condition. And this is why, again, as men of the Lord, we have a duty and a role and a function. Because again, when you listen, as you say, yesterday was the beginning of the Hebrew Academy 2025. And for all those, who, took that step forward, to stand in this precept, Lord be with you, and to continue and to hold fast and to be a brother. Because again, this is what men toil and endure for. And will continue to endure, because it says, he that endured to the end, the same shall be what? Shall be saved. This to the end. There is not for, that they to the end. And men, we see the example of Commander General Yohanna enduring. And our desire is to continue and in the spirit of the Most High of King Yahawashi, to keep that. That's why I say pray for not them, but pray, not for the world, but to pray for them. And that's take it up, because now, go ahead.
Yeah, so like I said, when you go back and tell us, say like, when you tell them no, you don't know. You tell them, okay, right, Christ is a black man, and I show every scripture and thing, right? So now, like, okay, yeah, understand Christ is a black man, so like, I want to know what next and all this, but the same thing again, coming back to Christianity, they don't teach you again that, Christ is a person, say they want to be telling Peter, hey, leave me alone, die, because I don't know part of this world.
Yeah.
So not doing that, Christ, we still trying to see our place in this world, like Christ did not want to see our place in this world. You can say this again when you read scripture, the lamp and thing, where again, for them to take a heed to the things of Christ, and you see what happens again. So even circle that and all, you still not understand, but I'm making a past again. We're not supposed to be stay in this world right now.
It shows you what we mind supposed to be, and this is why again go back and listen, Commander General Yahanna, encouraging brothers and letting them know this work, it takes commitment. And that commitment is you, standing with your brother. That is reality, right? You can't say I'm standing with you. And then when that time reach now, you just better go your way. One time. Don't fool yourself, or as you say, or put your brother's life in danger. Because now the man by the side, he might be really committed. But as you say, being as you say, weak and being a coward, could end up, letting your brother lose his life. And this is why it's so important, especially in this group. Especially because now we seeing the same acts, happening today. We're reading about things that happened over 2,000 years ago, and now we're seeing the same thing happening now today. What does it show you? It shows you that, that the word or the words or these instructions, it never fail. The scripture never fail. That men, that righteous black men are hold thing. You say, hold fast to that which is good. They life. But SHALAM T. Williams, right?
First John chapter 3, verse 2. Beloved, now are we the sons of the Most High, and it doeth not yet appear. What shall we be? But we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is.
Because by this the return of our King. Because now our desire is to be the example that he be, that he did, and to continue on in that way. Because now this is what it is going.
Verse 3. And every man that hath this hope in him purifieth himself, even as he is pure.
Because why we have that hope in him himself or in himself. Because you know why? Because now we see the examples of righteous black men following these instructions. Righteous black men taking heed to these instructions. And righteous black men enduring to the end with these instructions. Go ahead.
Verse 5, verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law.
Because why? This is the end result by not following these instructions. This is the end result of us not taking heed to these instructions. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And you know that he was manifest to take away our sins, and in him there is no sin.
Right, go ahead.
Verse 6. Whosoever abideth in him sinneth not. Whosoever sinneth hath not seen him, neither known him.
And this is why a pastor failure. Trinidad Tobago. This is why your religious leaders fail. Because now, what a claim to say, right? Whosoever sinneth not hath seen him, neither known him. So now what they're doing? They continue to do what? To go against these instructions. They continue to, as you say, to take up their own ways, their own philosophies. They continue to run after, as you say, the doctrine. And this is why, again, it's so important for us as a people, as a nation, to walk after these laws, statutes, and commandments. And as Black, Latinos, and Native Indians, we need to continue and to follow these instructions. And this is why, again, these reminders will be brought out. Again, remember to like, to subscribe, and to share the classes, and then tune into I.S.U.P.K Trinidad Tobago again. Join again the real GEN.YAHANNA right? Commander General Yohanna, you again, Black Watch Station, join tonight, again, join every Monday, right here in Trinidad Tobago, again, like, share, subscribe to the Slack. Alright. I hear you. I hear you, T. Williams. Right. Right. Again, and see, they continue in this work. But now this is where it is. This is where it is. And as a people and a nation, these reminders must be brought out. Right? Again, as we say, here in Trinidad, they come down to the school in Trinidad and Tobago. We have a number on the web page. Reach out to that number. You can reach out on the WhatsApp number. You can reach out on the regular number. Get in contact. There always righteous comes to directions. You get directions in the school. Ask a question. You can send your reply upon or Messenger, Facebook Messenger, or WhatsApp. You will get a reply. Right? I mean, like, share, subscribe, share the page, share these classes and then share. Join Commander General Yohanna again, and the real General Yohanna, TV show again, as a reminder to our brothers and sisters, continue to pay your tithes in help in pushing this group forward. And again, the Lord is going to see this through. Despite, some may shun, despite wherever a man might take it, this is going to continue because now the Lord always had this, always had this way. So despite what you think that you can step away, know this will continue. The Lord always have a purpose and had righteous black men continuing in teaching this. And this will stop until we turn up our King Yahushua. Again, tune in to our classes during the week. Join us at home here in Trinidad again with the live stream on Tuesday with the North Carolina School. We be joining them as well on the live podcast. Come up on the Trinidad page. Join the class, ask a question on a Wednesday with this class. Come, scripture breakdown. As we say Thursday, join General Hyman. He will be, going in as well on the Trinidad page. So the Trinidad page is active. In the meantime, in the midst of all that taking place, this should continue to be pushed. Again on Friday, our brothers in the UK, take hold of the Lashon Kodash class, which is our Hebrew or native tongue. We're going to continue to bring that message out, continue to remind us, as we say, continue to learn our native tongue. Again, Saturday or Sabbath service class, which begins from 10 till, again, join us. So we have a whole week of activity right here on the Trinidad page in the meantime, right? Again, like, share, and subscribe to the classes. Call the number and join us. Again, get Trinidad Tobago. Again, the pastor failure, blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians in Trinidad Tobago. But the I.S.U.P.K is in Trinidad Tobago. There's always a way because the truth is in Trinidad Tobago. If you're seeking truth, come direct or as I say, ask a question. Come into the I.S.U.P.K. Again, the location is Morris Street, Point. With that, pass the class, the priest, and the possession. I.S.T. Williams, lock and log in. Hotel Canada, I hear you. I the condition and the battle. get through, man. Lord allow. Right.
Security announcement. We had the I.S.U.P.K. out of 123 families under command in Gen.YAHANNA. No groups of brothers and sisters. When a group brother or sister come to the school, they are open for 6 months. They are here to be student only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if your brother or sister has an interest and peculiar person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to another brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After the 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. That which is the commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18 verse 21 and Malachi chapter 3 verse 8 to 10. Means 10 in Hebrew and not my share, 10% of every penny increase. The most I give to the treasury department or teach at least one. Free will offering for peace, non-mandatory, whatever means you like to give. Upcoming holy convocation, that will be the memorial going of trumpet, that will be Tuesday of the 7th, that will be Wednesday the 2nd of October.
That will be when? Wednesday the 2nd October again, brothers and sisters in the Trinidad. Come down to the school Wednesday the 2nd October. You know, for the memorial going of trumpets. Again, go up on the webpage, you know, contact the number. Again, this was again is instructions that is passed on, and we should continue to observe them, as we say, as we continue to push, you know, to remind brothers and sisters ourselves. So what again, to them again, God, the most I God be to as well. But
you can find this in Leviticus chapter 23, verse 24 to 25. My dad come out to check on social media, such as I.S.U.P.K, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and material. If your brother wants to be a super in the school, then he just start wearing one black, which includes black boots, like shirts, like pants, like headband or scarf. That's what we said, Matthew. Where the face is. When say Lord pray in Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabashamaya, Badash, Ayah, Tamka, Yehovah, Balabaka, Abaka, Ratazaka, Ayah, Aisha, Aratiza, Sawa, Ayah, Bashamaya, Natan, and the war, the Kam, Kal, Yawam, Batalak Noah, Abawaki Noah, Batalak Noah, Abawaki Noah, Wala, Tabia Noah, Asawan, Abol, Awashai Noah, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Aka, Mulakwa, Wala, Batapara, Ironia, Aman.
In the English, O Father,
Father,
hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
So, let's get a teacher. One quick do. Imagine Shabbat. Imagine. Barak. Yahweh Shema Tamba. Yahweh Moshe Barakatah. Jamata. Sa. Let's get sisters and nine. One quick do. Imagine Shabbat. Imagine. Barak. Yahweh Shema Tamba. Hashem Yahushai. Jamata. Class is